Hello students, good morning. Let's today learn about poem number 3, that is Keeping Quiet, and it is written by Pablo Neruda. In this poem, Neruda talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. So here in this poem, Neruda tells us why quiet introspections means talking to oneself, is important, and how can it create a feeling of understanding with other human beings. So these are the beginning lines of the poem. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. Poet says that I'm going to count 12, then we all will be together silent. So here he gives us a countdown for 12. You can have a very important question based on this, that why has he chosen this number 12? If you look at the clock, and as you know, when there is 12 in the clock, when clock strikes 12, all the three hands, seconds, minutes and hours comes together. So in this way he uses this 12 so that everybody should come together to be silent. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. Further, he says that when we will be silent for once on the face of the earth, face means surface. Surface of the earth, let's not speak in any language. We have so many languages. So don't speak in any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. Let's stop doing any physical work. Arms actually here has the two meanings. Arms are body parts, and second for weapons. So when a word has two meanings, then the poetic device used is pun, pun. So he says us to stop talking and to stop fighting as well. It would be an exotic moment, without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Further, he says that this silence would be an exotic moment. Exotic, a very new thing which has never been experienced by one. So it would be a very new moment, without rush, without engines. There would be no hurry and there would be no sound of engines because everybody would be stopped. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Together in the sense that we would all be silent and there would suddenly be very strangeness around because we are not used to it, of this silence. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. It means the fisherman who catch fish for his earning, he would not harm whales. When he is silent, he is doing introspection. And similarly, the person who is gathering salt also would have some time to look at his hurt hands. Otherwise, he is always busy in his work. But now he would not have to move his arms and do any kind of work, so he can see how much harm he has given to his hands. These two are actually the symbolic references here. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. It means that the human beings, how they are harming the environment for their needs, they would be able to know that. Moreover, the human beings are harming themselves also to achieve their success. They are mentally, physically, and getting overstrained. So if they are doing introspection, they would be learning to know that they are harming not only environment but themselves as well. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. Those, the soldiers who prepare green wars. So why are the wars said to be green? Because they are anti-greenery. Okay, whether it is a war with gas or it is a war with fire, every time, every war is victories with no survivors. whether it is a winning country or it is a country which has lost the war or battle. Many people, many soldiers of that country must have died. So for the winner country there are no soldiers to enjoy the victory. So it's always a victory with no survivor. You can take the example of Mahabharata as well, how all the people were died and there was nobody from the Pandavas side as well to enjoy the victory. So first war is anti-greenery, second it is like a victory with no survivor. These people who prepare these kind of wars would put on clean clothes, means they would put off the uniform of their particular nation. The soldiers wear that uniform on the border, but they should put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. Brothers here refers to the people of the opposite team as well, because we all are brothers actually, brothers and sisters. All the human beings are brothers, whether they are of this country or another. So the war should be ended, and all the soldiers of all the nations would put on clean clothes and sit in the shade doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Further, poet says that what I want you to do, stop talking, stop moving arms, stop doing your work. It doesn't mean I want you to be totally inactive. Totally inactive means dead. I don't want you to behave like dead people. Life is what it is about. Means life means going on, continuing. Life is always continuing. Whether we are sleeping or we are sitting or whatever we are doing, life in us is moving on. I want no truck with death. He says, I do not want any association of my introspection with death. I do not want you to get connected with death. If we were not so single minded about keeping our lives moving, so poet says that we are single minded. What do we think all day? About keeping our lives moving. A student thinks how to get good grades in exam. An adult thinks how to earn more money. So everybody in the world is thinking about keeping lives moving. We do not take rest, we do not stop, and we do not enjoy the present moment. We are just thinking about the future. And for once could do nothing. If it happened that for once we could do nothing, we could stop doing anything. Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt means interfere, this sadness of never understanding ourselves. If we have time for ourselves, if we can stop our all kind of work for some time in the day, then we will realize that we don't have anything which can entertain us. We do not understand ourselves. If we have some time for ourselves, we do not know what to do. We want to take the support of others, like we want TV or we want mobile phone or we want some friend or we want our family to spend time with. But if you have to spend time with you only, then this is the sadness that we do not understand ourselves, and of threatening ourselves with death. So first we are sad because we do not understand ourselves. Second, we are threatening ourselves with death. We are always threatening ourselves. Oh, I should do this work, maybe I would be there tomorrow or not. This happens with many of the people, especially your parents. They are so much caring for you and they think that I should save some money for my kid. Suppose something happens to me, he should not have some kind of burden, he should not suffer. So thinking this in mind, we are actually losing our today also, we are losing our present also. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Then Pablo Neruda says that we should learn from earth. On earth everything seems dead. When we bury seeds inside, seeds are just lifeless. Or when there is some natural calamity, the earth seems to be so destroyed. But later, after some time, it gets to life easily. When in the autumn season we see the trees are bare, the leaves are fallen, the flowers are nowhere, the fruits are nowhere. But as soon as the spring comes, the earth is beautiful with greenery again. So if we have some tough situations in our life, we should not think that our life is ended. Very soon this situation will change for a good one, for a better one, and we will be happy again. So we should learn this thing from earth. In the end, poet says, now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. Now he again in the end requests us to do quiet introspection, to talk to ourselves so that we can become better human beings. If we will talk to ourselves, we can come to know what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what have we done wrong and what have we done right. So in this way we can polish ourselves. So in the end he says, you introspect and I'll go. So this is the poem. See the video, understand all the lines carefully. And in the next video, I'm going to discuss the poetic devices used in the poem with the question and answers as well. And now, today's word. This is a very common mistake I have seen committed by many of the students. It's versus its. So first, it's with apostrophe s means it is contraction, short form of it is. It's a filthy animal means it is a filthy animal. But if you want to use possessive pronoun, then it's without apostrophe. Like its name is Bob. Okay? Without apostrophe we use possessive pronoun, and it apostrophe s means it is. Note down these words in comparison in dictionary. Have a good day.